So here we have, this is the final. This is the last game in the finals, American Cup 2023. Hikaru playing against Wesley. So they are really in a close match, like drawing the classical games, drawing the match in the rapid games. And then we have this last two games were draw. And so this is really a close final. And then we got here Hikaru Nakamura playing with the white pieces. And he starts the game with knight f3. And we got d5, and after they goes for this queen, like this is a Sicilian with the white pieces, so the English, but very nice in a Sicilian style, with one tempo. Yeah, so white starts the game, so this is a Sicilian one tempo up, and the game continued with e6, and after b3, now preparing to develop the bishop. We got the development of the bishops, and now the king goes into safety. So this is really interesting way to go. I think this is a pretty aggressive way to start the game. You know, the bishop is already on this long diagonal. The pieces are developing really well and attacking on the king side. So Hikaru is just showing that he really wants to go for a checkmate here. So knight c3 developing c5. Wesley so is going to attack the center. So pawn takes and rook to c1, like inviting this pawn advance, which Wesley so doesn't deny. So d4 was played, and now knight goes to a4 already with an attack on the center. So the pawn is being attacked multiple times, and also the c5 pawn is being attacked multiple times. So b6 seems really like a logical move. Going again, now very sharp, also putting the bishop in this long diagonal. But it seems like Wesley so is more interested in capturing the pawn, and so not losing the pawn in the center. Now this line is interesting. Like, it seems like black is giving up a pawn, but the position is like the pawn structure is not really well here, and it seems like the engines like this variation for black. And after pawn takes, and now bishop goes to b7. So probably Wesley is so needed to study, because this is not so natural to play like that. This is not so natural to gambit a pawn and like that, but it really seems that this d pawn is going to be lost anytime soon during the game, and black has too much activity. It seems to be a compensation. It seems to have some compensation. Now the d will always be an attack and a liability here. So yeah, this seems really interesting, this line with b6. Probably an improvement here for Wesley so in the next games. So pawn takes and now b6. So he didn't lose the central pawn and now protected the pawn on c5. But now Hikaru. Oh, the computer really likes this line actually for black. So nothing wrong for Wesley so far. Bishop e2 and knight d5, now centralizing the knight. Wesley so castling, now putting the king into safety. Knight b4, actually not the best move. The engine says the knight c6, which was really played in the game. So nothing wrong with Wesley so far. Nothing wrong with Hikaru so far. So queen e1, routing the pieces to the king's side. So Nakamura won. He already got the f column is open. The bishop is doing a great job. Of course, his knight is not so happy here in the edge right now, but the queen is ready to join the party. The bishop is ready. The knight is ready. So Hikaru is pointing the pieces to the king's side. Bishop to b7 was played, and now queen g3, pointing the now I'm in this pawn on g7 square. Bishop f6 defending, now bishop takes, and now can it be taken with the queen? I think the queen can take it as well, but now the knight can be attacked with the tempo. So Wesley so prefers to take it with the knight. And it seems pretty much that this position is balanced. I mean, nothing is going on, right? And now this knight is on the edge, so you want to give... so this piece wants to go back into the game, so knight c3. And then Wesley comes with this knight b4 idea, just making sure the knight has to be tied to this defense on the pawn. Maybe the knight want to jump to d3 and like restrict his opponent. Now the bishop is playing, so it seems a really good position here for black. And now Hikaru thinks for a minute here, a minute and a half, and then he plays this knight e5 idea. Very interesting move. You know, some interesting ideas here. Now the queen has to be guarding the knight because there's a pin on the g column. Maybe you can, you know, I don't know, but some ideas in the future. But it's more than that. It's much more than that. And now Wesley so thinks for like almost 2 minutes, and he accepts the challenge. So Nakamura is challenging Wesley so because now the knight is no longer protecting the pawn. And it's a tricky position. Now, it's amazing that Wesley didn't spot that after thinking about almost 2 minutes. And he took the pawn. I mean, Nakamura would not be believing this right now because he would probably need to, centralize the knight. And he would be protecting the position really well. Actually, the engine says it's pretty much balanced after this move. So chances for both sides. But now he went for the poisoned pawn on d2. Just unbelievable that Wesley so fell for that. Because now after rook goes here, of course the queen can no longer escape. This pawn is protected by the queen and the queen cannot be attacked. Now this move doesn't work, this move doesn't work. So the queen tries to go away, but then knight c4, probably the move that Wesley so missed on his mighty calculations when taking the poison pawn. What was that? And the game is over. 19 moves, and the queen is trapped, can no longer go anywhere. So it's a dramatic way for Wesley so to lose the championship, and a very interesting way for Nakamura to win. Like, was knight e5 was really a smart move, and Wesley so fell for that. A great game for Hikaru, and he of course he deserves the title. So he's the winner of the American Cup 2023.